If you're too impatient to read through all the details, then I suggest you at least look at the last 2 minutes. Hi, I want this to present the background to cryptocurrency, and really hope you can tell me why my deductions might be wrong, because no one seems to be able to explain better what is currently happening. I've searched and searched, but this is about all I can find out. I've been accused of too generally attacking cryptocurrency revolution as a complete scam, which it is, because I was not explaining how the scam works. So here I will try. What are we talking about, and why are these called cryptocurrencies? If you realize that crypto is a Greek word meaning secret or hidden, but in this case actually comes from the medical use of the word crypto, meaning with no known reason, therefore we can say cryptocurrency actually means currency with no known reason. Why use a Greek word? Well, I think this comes from history. A history of a weak, uncontrolled currency like was found in Greece, where no dentist earned more than 12,000 euros, because 3 out of 5 Greek taxpayers are not required to pay tax. A study in 2011 by the Planning and Economic Research Centre generally concludes that taxpayers with higher income tend to conceal income regardless of the professional group they belong to. Certainly they try and avoid VAT by accepting barters. Or to give you another case, you might say as in Cuba, where the state pays a very basic wage regardless of the work done. So there are now currently surgeons supplementing their income by private capitalism, such as selling copper pipes and other sought-after plumbing items that are today difficult to get. This goes under the traditional Cuban quote, "The government pretends to pay us and we pretend to work." Such is the feeling of unfairness and the yearning to avoid taxes. Cryptocurrency is an attempt to avoid control and maximize profits regardless of anything else. However, the original, and I repeat the original aim was positive like any revolutionary thought in the use of a blockchain digital record. So first I need to confirm that the blockchain technology is based on a mainly foolproof method of computer manipulation, a block purchase that cannot be copied and sold twice. You need to understand that the greatest scam is not using the blockchain at all, but rather joining in ICO purchases or initial coin offerings, which is no more than giving your money to an internet company in return for a one-off issue of a contract containing value that could be used but cannot then be used for the same purpose again and again. These companies, by the nature of the internet, are often anonymous entities, but currently the courts are finally starting to freeze assets and transactions, even while the websites remain active. All national governments are just starting to control or ban them. So my aim today is to compare this with another legitimate revolution from history, and you can see the legitimate steps and the illegal practices stemming from it. That's the post office revolution. The clearest way to explain this is take you back to that revolution nearly 200 years ago in London, England. You will see how it mirrors my comparisons coming up shortly, and understand how the other big players like Ethereum compared to the introduction of a free postal market in the 1980s, when the likes of DHL, Hermes, Federal Express, UPS or DPD were allowed to join in letter and parcel delivery, and there was no longer a private monopoly. So my story goes like this. On the 1st of May 1840, Sir Rowland Hill was an English teacher, inventor and social reformer. Hill campaigned for a comprehensive reform of the postal system based on the concept of the uniform penny post, and his solution of prepayment facilitating the safe, speedy and cheap transfer of letters. Hill later served as a government postal official, and he is usually credited with originating the basic concepts of the modern postal service including the invention of the postal stamp. You know that a postage stamp is a small piece of paper that is purchased and displayed on an item of mail as evidence of payment of postage. Typically, stamps are printed on special custom-made paper, show a national designation and a denomination or value on the front, and have an adhesive gum on the back or are self-adhesive. They're also watermarked and otherwise designed to prevent counterfeiting. Postage stamps were purchased from some postal administration or post office or other authorised vendor and are used to pay the costs involved in moving mail, as well as other business necessities such as insurance and registration. They are sometimes a source of pure net profit to the issuing agency, especially when sold to collectors who will not actually use them for postage. Hill's success was soon copied by other nations. This is exactly what has happened to the Bitcoin blockchain market, which is why you have to be so careful about who you listen to. So let's compare the postage stamps to the blockchain. The first blockchain was conceptualized by a person or group of people known as Satoshi Nakamoto in 2008. It was implemented during the following year by Nakamoto as a core component of the cryptocurrency Bitcoin, where it serves as the public ledger for all transactions on the network. Through the use of a blockchain, Bitcoin became the first digital currency to solve the double spending problem without requiring a trusted authority, and has been the inspiration for many additional applications. In August 2014, the Bitcoin blockchain file size, containing records of all transactions that had occurred on the network, reached 20 gigabytes. In January 2015, the size had grown to almost 30 gigabytes, and from January 2016 to January 2017, the Bitcoin blockchain grew from 50 gigabytes to 100 gigabytes in size. In Satoshi Nakamoto's original paper, the words block and chain were used separately, but were eventually popularized as a single word, blockchain, by 2016. The blockchain is issued by the provider, such as Bitcoin, which here equals the original Royal Mail Service and the famous penny black of the 6th of May 1841. Then loads of other people started seeing this as a way of raising funds without regulation. These are the ICOs, or initial coin offerings. They have no connection with Bitcoin, no authority outside their own company restriction, which is often vague and untraceable. So, in summary, this diagram shows the penny post development on the left and the Bitcoin development on the right. On the penny post side, there is a clear linkage from the basic theory of the penny post to the provision of postal services and then other independent delivery chains such as DHL. Although this has weakened the national postal monopoly, it has created an effective alternative market. Besides this, there is a separate development of money orders, currency exchange, and the growth of a philately or collector's market in rare stamps. This in no way impinges on the postal service. Finally, the development of loyalty trading stamps and loyalty cards are a very small and separate financial area. Sadly, these stages have been deliberately and confusingly introduced into the cryptocurrency side. The idea of the blockchain and the creation of the Bitcoin is the basis for the creation of cryptocurrency. And like with the postal services, there have been a few genuine competitors such as Ethereum, which produces a healthy competition. But the totally unconnected derivative markets gambling on the value and use of crypto coin exchanges is an unconnected pretense. Similarly, the unconnected use of the word cryptocurrency to raise funds through the initial coin offers or ICOs is a false derivative market from the actual blockchain fund. This is dangerous because the vast sums moving from conventional currency into cryptocurrency upsets market valuations and are largely proving to be direct scams or Ponzi creations. The total value of cryptocurrency, like the total value in CFDs, that's contracts for difference or derivatives, and Forex, foreign exchange, is currently starting to exceed the total value of the stock market, or the actual manufacturing service sector that represents the national GDPs. This means that currency in shorting and gambling can begin to influence employment and production, which is not a healthy position for the world economy.